Welcome back to the Sobriety Spin, where I give you my take on life in recovery. I'm Ginny, and I'm an alcoholic. Last week, I told y'all about how I lost everything and my life burned down to the ground around me. But I stopped pretending, and I found real sobriety in the process. This week, let's talk about what came next and how all of that loss turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. I went back to rehab on April 1st, 2020, and the whole world had fallen apart, right? But so had I. So it fit. After my first trip to rehab, I'd been desperate to rebuild my life exactly as it was. And even after the second trip and 6 months in sober living in Minnesota, I still thought that I could somehow glue the important pieces back together and essentially rebuild my old life in a new way, but with the same pieces. But the truth was that my old life couldn't hold the new me. When I was about a year sober, my dog, Monkey, who I'd had since he was a puppy, died really suddenly. I mean, it was completely out of the blue. He was 10 years old. He was fine one day and just gone the next. And 3 days later, my ex-husband got engaged, and that all hit me together like a ton of bricks. The old life really was over, and I wasn't getting it back. So I did what like any normal, well-adjusted person would do, and I didn't get out of bed for a couple of months. And I ate a lot of cake, mostly cake, and things got really dark. But I stayed sober. And eventually I started asking for help again and stopped hiding so much. A friend told me, you'll use this pain and suffering to help somebody else someday. And it clicked. All of a sudden, I could see that this suffering that I was feeling wasn't pointless. It was a turning point. A few months later, I set out on my first solo travel adventure of my life. And somewhere on a back road in Maine, it hit me that yes, I had lost everything, and it was hard, and it was painful, and my old life deserved to be mourned. But I had also gained infinite freedom. I was free to choose who I wanted to be, where I wanted to go, what kind of life I wanted to build for myself. And that was the beginning of my real emotional and spiritual recovery. Sobriety was just the first step, it turned out. And I wasn't going to get my old life back, but I could build a brand new one, and one that was all mine. So if you're standing in the wreckage right now, wondering what the point is, wondering if it will ever get better, hold on. It will. Sometimes you have to lose everything to gain everything. And sometimes the end of a story is the beginning of another one, and it's really beautiful. So tune in next week for more of my takes on my recovery journey. And as always, stay curious and don't forget the snacks.